Hi, I'm Donna, and today I'm going to show you how to make these Curlicue heart earrings. We're going to start with about 7 inches of 20 gauge wire, and we'll measure out 3 inches, and that's where we'll make our first loop. You're just going to let the wires cross over each other right there. And we're going to start with the longer side. And you see how the wire goes underneath the longer side on this one? Now yours may be the other way, I'm not sure. But you want this curl to go underneath on the same side as the previous one. You can adjust it to where you want it. It doesn't have to be exactly the same as mine. Let's go a little further out for that. Then we're going to make this curl going in. But for this one, we're going to bring the wire over. And you're just going to go back and forth, kind of over under with those. And what that'll do is keep it from kind of getting lopsided, sort of. I'm not sure how else to explain that. And as you go, you'll have to just kind of keep closing that up a little bit. Let's bring that back around so we can start the next loop. And this one's going to go underneath again. Let's bring this back up to get started on the next loop. Now that last one went under, so this one would go over. And let's just go ahead and make sure those are closed correctly. Then you have the first side right there. So for the second side, I'm going to flip it over because it's easier to work with that way. And we're going to do the same thing we did on the other side. And you don't have to make both sides match exactly, you just need them to be the same length. If you want them to be precise, then that's fine. It just depends on your own personal preference. And we'll just keep doing it the same way we did the other side with the same over-under pattern. And kind of close that up so the sides are a little more parallel. And again, we'll just go back under. Need to straighten that up just a little bit there. Sometimes that happens where it pushes out of place and you just have to straighten it out a little and redo it. And we're going to go ahead and do the last loop. For that one, we have to go over. Now for this one, we do need to make sure it's parallel with the, well, even with the top loop on the other side. And I want it to cross over the top of the other longer wire. We put that one so it's almost straight across. Then you take your chain nose pliers or bent nose pliers, either one, and bend it straight up. Now we're going to wrap this wire around that one. So get that position where you want it exactly. You don't want these two to overlap. You just want them right next to each other, and hold that fairly tight so that it doesn't slip while you're wrapping this wire. And I just wrap it around so it goes across the front twice. And go ahead and tighten that up a little bit. I'm going to snip that right there towards the back. And before pressing it down with the chain nose pliers, just going to file that a little bit. That way if it does brush up against your ear, it doesn't cause any irritation. Okay, that's good. Then just take your chain nose pliers and press that down. Okay, now it did slip a little bit, but we can fix that. What we're just going to do is take the round nose pliers, slip them in there, kind of pull it a little bit. Okay, now that doesn't want to go, so you can twist that a little to make it sit correctly too. Now just make whatever adjustments you want to get these positioned where you want them. I like to keep it close together, but if you want it wider apart, that's fine too. You could even do this in a circle if you wanted to. Now I already have another one made, so we're just going to compare that, make sure they're both the same length and close enough in appearance. And if you need to, when you're working on the second one, you can make whatever adjustments you need to make it match the first one. I'd say those are close enough. At this point, you need to cut it about 1 1/4 inches from that wrap. So let's see if I can line that up. Okay, there's 1 1/4 inches there. I'll just cut that here. Okay, now we need to file the end of this. There are a lot of different things you can use. If you have a cut burr, you can use that. You can use sandpaper. I'm just going to use this. It's just a needle file. First I'm going to file it flat to get rid of that burr that the cutters leave behind. And then just get the edges a little bit. With softer metals like copper and sterling silver, it shouldn't take much to do this. And actually, if you don't have sandpaper or needle file on hand, emery boards for doing nails work well too. That feels about right. Now I'm using a mandrel. It's just a stepped mandrel that you can get at most craft stores. I'm just going to put it, the third one in seems about right for me. Let me see how big is that? That would be, it's approximately 8 millimeters thick. So anything you have that's about 8 millimeters thick will work. If you have an X-Acto knife or a pen or something like that, those usually work well. So just wrap it around. I'm going to use my nail here, but you can use pliers if you prefer. And just bend that out a little bit. And finish shaping that around. Then you just need to, well, line that up first, make sure it's straight on the back. Then you can just bend this outward a little bit to make it easier to put on. Okay, and that's it for the ear wire. Now for the heart, and you could actually put any charm you want to on it, but since Valentine's Day is coming up, I'm just going to go ahead and do a heart. I'm just taking a little bit of wire. It's probably going to be too much. Is that the, I'm not sure if I got the flush cut end or not, so let me trim that just a little bit. You always want the flush cut end to be part of the project and not the part that's got the V shape on it. Okay, I'm just going to push that through a little bit and bend it up a little. You can make tiny adjustments as needed as you work. And since it's a heart, you can just kind of push it into that little indent in the top. I'm going to use round nose pliers just to round it out a little bit first. See if this will work. Okay, and that'll keep it mostly, well, pretty secure there. I'm just going to bring that out a little bit. And make a small loop here. And we're going to go ahead and cut that so it's pretty tight in there. Looks like I need to reshape that just a little bit. All right, I need to open that up a little. I got this part a little bit too long, so I'm just going to trim that a little bit. And just tighten everything up a little. Once you have everything lined up, you just twist it open like you would a regular jump ring. Slip it on there. And close it up. And now you have a cute little pair of heart earrings.